One here. Often while making these videos, I end up with bits and pieces that really don't lend themselves well to a full-scale video all on their own. So I'm going to compile a few tank destroyer clips in this video entitled Things to Do in a Tank Destroyer. And as this video progresses, you'll see a few of those things to do pop up on your screen from time to time. Things like this. This particular match is lost. They only need to kill one of us to successfully win the match. But that doesn't mean that we can't put up a good fight all the way to the bitter end. I just have to avoid dying, because if one person dies, it's all over for our side, and I really don't want to be that guy. So we're going to fight to the bitter end. That's the only thing on my mind right now. Honor demands we make a good showing. Sometimes being in a little light tank destroyer like this Hetzer has its advantages. Sometimes the big boys just tend to ignore you. And often that'll cost them. So I'm going to take advantage of the enemy team's preoccupation with getting to that cap that we have just taken and use it to my advantage. Ah well, at least honor has been served. Now when running the various tank destroyers available in War Thunder, you really need to know their strengths and weaknesses before you dive in too deeply. The Su-122, for example, has a big weakness you have to be aware of and play accordingly, that being its incredibly slow reload time. But if you can avoid charging directly into the fight and leading the way all the time, you can end up being a very valuable member of your team in a support role. Keeping cover near at hand, always have a fallback point. You can provide devastating fire on target when needed. In effect, you can become your team's guardian angel. This position is ideal for covering the sole base that needs to be captured in this particular match. The enemy was holding it, but I have skirmishers on my team that have moved forward and contested it successfully. However, there are two main avenues of approach for the enemy, either directly from their base or taking the high ground to the left, and this position allows me, with relative safety, to cover both of those approaches. I've got the pillbox in front of me for hard cover, and these tank traps to my right to help prevent anyone from getting around behind me. And I can deliver a significant punch from this range. Now I instinctively want to get back up on top of this little rise and narrow my sight down on that second tank that appeared up on top of the hill. But I have to exercise patience. I have to reload fully before I expose myself to his fire. I'm just hoping that my teammates can hold out long enough for me to do that. Okay, time to make my move. He's looking in my direction, but I beat him to the punch. 2 shots, 2 down. Well, 3 if you count the anti-aircraft battery I picked off on the way over. With any tank destroyer, particularly this one, it's all about maximizing your strengths and minimizing your deficiencies. I think we're doing a pretty good job of that so far this round. I'm trying my best to live up to that role of guardian angel for my team, despite certain problems along the way. Yeah, I was about a split second away from pulling the trigger on that one. That would have been embarrassing. So in this match, I've been having a duel with this particular T-34 that you see in front of me. He's injured me badly a couple of times and forced me to repair. But I finally managed to drive him back with the assistance of a Tiger tank that's just over this rise. As a matter of fact, he's just called artillery in on my position and making things incredibly tough for me, even though he's in full retreat. I'm not going to let that stand. The Tiger's here to defend the cap. I'm going looking for revenge. I figure he's probably looking for some sneaky avenue of attack on that Tiger in the cap. And I would not be disappointed. As it turns out, that's exactly what he's doing. But his undoing is not keeping his eye on me, his nemesis for this entire match. One shot and he's on fire. And he keeps rolling back into the ocean. I think perhaps he thinks he's going to be able to put it out that way, and actually, it does go out. But I'm pretty sure that's because he used a fire extinguisher. Now I've got him dead to rights. Plant one shot at him and line up. He's finally paying attention to me, but it's all too late. He doesn't have the gun depression in that position to actually hit me anymore. So I can take my time while he's immobilized and plant one right in his cheek, which messes him up pretty good but doesn't take him out. So I'm going to savor this last shot. I'm going to put him out of his misery, except for the fact that the helpful Tiger decides he's going to drown him instead. So the question is, can I kill him underwater? And the answer is, yes. Yes, I can. And I think that Tiger has managed to get himself stuck, and his turret is beginning to turn in my direction. I don't think he's happy that I took his kill away from him, so I'm going to leave now and let discretion be the better part of valor. Right now I'm in a match on Kursk where I haven't been able to hit the broadside of a barn at range. So, to compensate, I've charged forward to close range and flanked the entire enemy team. And I've been fortunate enough to find one of those individuals so focused on sniping, he's completely oblivious to his surroundings. Well, there's only one thing to do. Set him on fire and watch as he has a slow and painful death. Seriously, it's for his own good. He'll be a better player because of this experience. Yes, he has, you idiot. Sometimes you'll spawn into a match and find out that some joker has gotten into a sniping position on it and is trying to pick off anyone that spawns back in. It's best to firmly but gently discourage this behavior whenever it occurs. Now that that's out of the way, I can begin to advance on the capture point that I need to take. The match is fairly even at this point, so if we're going to win, well, actually we are a little bit behind at the moment, so I really need to take this capture point up ahead as quickly and efficiently as I can. But first I'm going to have to clear the way. So heavy fire is coming in from somewhere, and I'm going to have to watch my step a little bit. And I see that they have sent at least one or two skirmishers out to keep us from doing exactly what we need to do. Well, he's looking in my direction now, so I'm going to have to get down off this ridge and under his line of fire. Fortunately, one of my teammates lends a timely assist, and I'm able to proceed toward the base. And this is exactly what I didn't want to see. Apparently, they object to my plan of relocation for their team. While I am sympathetic to their cause, I'm afraid I'm going to have to insist. You see, if you're diplomatic enough, even the enemy team can be reasonable about things. So I'm going to move into my new digs, make sure and capture this zone before I do anything else. Now that this base is captured, my priority becomes making sure that they don't get emboldened enough to try and capture it back. My teammates and I will employ an aggressive strategy, draw a line in the sand if you will, but we don't want them to cross a fair and neutral boundary that somewhat restricts their activities. Now this gentleman seems to insist upon pushing into what is rightfully our territory now, but I'm afraid we're going to have to insist that he leave. Now in the SU-122, it's important to work closely with your teammates, assuming they cooperate and head in the direction that you intend to head in anyway. Well, sometimes it just doesn't work out. But failing that, if you can't stick close to your other teammates, you should at least always consider each shot carefully. With that slow reload time, you can't afford to be making silly mistakes. Now this position suits my needs. I've got a good angle of fire and I've got cover that I can pull back behind it to reload. Ah, see? Here comes the rest of my team. I knew they wouldn't leave me hanging out to dry. I knew I could count on them. Now I'm reloaded and I can finish what I started. Or perhaps not. But that's okay. That's what teamwork's all about. Well, there are no players to shoot at, so I'm going to polish off a couple of NPC targets while I'm up here. And don't get me wrong, if there were any player targets in front of me, I'd certainly go for them first, but I'm not going to pass up the free experience and money. Now, I consider going on down to the lower level down there and actively backing up my team to get directly in the enemy's face, but I realize that may not be the best idea. Any enemy that come into the area are likely going to be behind concealment and firing from above. So if I stay in my perch, I can probably serve my team better than I can down on the valley floor. Well, I do blow that first shot, unfortunately. Hopefully, he'll remain fixated on my teammates down below long enough for me to reload and grant him a merciful and swift death. Again, I'm having to fight the urge to go down and join my teammates on the valley floor, but something tells me that I'll be better served staying where I'm at. Hopefully there'll be some sort of realistic shot that I can take. Well, I do spot someone over there, but he's pretty much behind cover. Well, you never know till you try, right? Against my better judgment, I go ahead and take my best shot. Huh, what do you know? Well, that particular bit of freakish luck seems to have taken the wind out of the enemy team's sails. They don't appear to be pushing this flank anymore, and frankly, I just don't think they have anything left. So I decide to go looking for them, but realize there's not really enough time left in this match to do anything constructive. So I might as well do something selfish. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found these bits and pieces entertaining and the words of wisdom will serve you well. Until I see you folks again, good hunting.